Hi, this is Katrina Sargent, owner and creator of Devil Doll Custom Creations. Today, we're going to be doing floating glitter makeup brushes. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. These makeup brushes are super fun to do and really easy. You're going to need a few supplies. I use like a Dixie cup or something you can mix your glitter in. Your sealant, which that is Loctite clear silicone, waterproof sealant, a stir stick, vegetable glycerin. I mix half glycerin, half water for my fluid inside the makeup brushes. This is how the makeup brushes come to you. I purchased mine from Creepsakes. There's a bunch of other places that have them. They're fully empty canistered brushes. The larger two, the top brush part is what comes off. The smaller brushes, the bottom part comes off. You're going to want to take all of them apart and put them back in the bag or somewhere for you to find them later, including those little stoppers that are in their own bag. Put them with your pieces. You won't need them until the very end. I'm always mixing my glitters, so I usually do a chunky mix and then a smaller neon. I do normally add an iridescent, which I forget at this step. I do add it later in the video, but normally it's during this time. I'm mixing them all together to make sure I like the look of the glitters together, if I like the color, before I add them to my makeup brushes. Also in this cup is a little bit of the glycerin water mix. You need to make sure your glitters are wet before you try to put them in your makeup brush canisters. I usually have a syringe for just the liquid to add into the canisters later. Here is how I mix. I do half and half vegetable glycerin and half water. I measure it out with a little measuring cup and keep my glitter-free liquid separate. If I make too much, just put a lid on it. It stays for a long time. So I usually make bigger batches for when I need it, it's already made. And when you add your water into your glycerin, you're gonna see it's gonna instantly get cloudy. You're gonna kind of freak out and think you did something wrong. You didn't. Just keep stirring until it gets crystal clear, like this. Now with it nice and mixed, I usually have my syringe full, ready to go when I need it. When you're adding your glitter, make sure you stir up your glitter even if it's in the glycerin mix. It needs to stay wet and the glitter sinks. This is why I love those Dixie cups. You can kind of fold them and make a little funnel. If you mix it up, you're going to have all the glitter everywhere. If you don't mix it up, you're only going to have the really light glitter that's going to be on the top, not the ones that are heavier that have sank. See how I did a little bit of glitter? And then I'm just turning it upside down to see how the glitter shifts. If there's any major clumps, just take a stir stick. It can be a stir stick, it can be a chopstick, it can be anything that you can fit down in that little canister to break up those glitter clumps. I normally like to get the majority of the makeup brushes filled at least half to 3/4 full in one sitting. Set them off to the side somewhere. This is just a pencil rack for all my crazy glitter pencils I have. And then I let this glitter settle. And then once it settles, you will be able to see the split between how much glitter you have and how much glycerin mix you have and how it shifts in the liquid, how it looks compared to the rest. You want to make sure you have relatively the same amount of glitter in each canister. You're going to see me going back and forth a lot between each makeup brush, putting a little bit more, taking a little bit out, adding just glitter, just the glycerin mix. This is just me being OCD, trying to get them the same amount. Say you're not happy with how much glitter you have versus too much glycerin mix. Dump it back into the glitter and then pour the glitter back into the canister. This is very, very forgiving. You can go back and forth a lot. You see how this one, all my glitter is kind of shifted and I don't have very much of it in reality in the canister. So I just kind of sometimes tap. The small ones you kind of have to tap to get it moving, but then it dumps right out once it gets going. You remember how I said I forgot about my iridescent glitters? This is how I add a glitter into it once it's already mixed. I make it into the little medicine cups with a little bit of glycerin mix to make sure it's wet, and then I add it to the canisters itself. From there, I then dump it in to my canisters, and then you have to shake it up to get it incorporated throughout the other pinks and what other colors and stuff you're using. This is why it's easier to do it in the very beginning than to add it later. Don't do what I do. Put all your glitters together at one time. All right, if you're happy with how it shifts and whatnot, you are now going to put those little stoppers that you put away for safekeeping. They're small ones for the small canisters, obviously, and you have two for the larger ones. So how I normally do it is I have a weeding tool. This is a big help if you have to remove that stopper back out. When you're seeing where your liquid line is, that's going to show you how much of an air bubble you're going to have. So to add your stopper, you're going to put it in, and if you kind of pull back on an edge, it'll help you get it fully in. If you have too big of an air bubble, take your weeding tool, take it back out, add a little bit of the glycerin mix, add your stopper again, go back and forth. You're not going to want to remove it a whole lot of times because you have a chance of ripping it or puncturing it with the weeding tool. Just be careful with it. Once you have the stopper in, shake that baby up. See how your glitter is going to float If you don't have an air bubble versus with an air bubble, see which way you like best, because you're going to be doing all of them the same way. You can't have one with a large air bubble and one with none. And then continue to do the exact same thing for the rest of your brushes. So I do it two different ways. I use this silicone clear waterproof sealant, or I use fast set epoxy. Today, I didn't want to use epoxy in my shop, so I decided to use my silicone sealant. But on either one, you're going to have to take some alcohol on a rag and clean up that edge to make sure you have no glycerin, nothing on it that's going to expel or affect it adhering to the plastic, so your brushes come apart or anything like that. So how I do with the silicone is I put it on a tinfoil, paper, anything, kind of glob it on with a stir stick, and then when you add your brush head, turn it to make sure it adheres to every side, every part of it, and the top. And then I run that rag with some alcohol on it around that edge where some of it might have squished out. I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial. Hope they learned something. If you have any questions or concerns, please write them in the comments. I will write back. Please like, share, subscribe. It really means the world to me. and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post new videos. Thank you for everyone's continued support.